Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to our audit series. This is a purely English lecture for especially for the South students. Of course, anybody can see it, and we will be covering our entire audit portion for May 23 and November 23 using our 100-page summary notes. So today we will be doing essay 299. Essay 299 talks about your joint auditor, and see your this series comes for approximately 5 marks. So this as well as your essay 500 series are very important for exam point of view. And let's start with essay 299. Your essay 299 would be on page 10, I guess, for those of you who have purchased the physical copy. Okay, so your essay 299 talks about joint audit. Now joint audit is done when one client or one entity is audited by more than one auditor, that's two or more auditors. So a joint audit is an audit of financial statement of an entity. Remember, it is an entity because it is only one entity, but audited by two or more auditors with the objective of issuing the audit report. So there can be two, there can be three, there can be four. Okay. Now, audit planning and allocation of work. So that is when two auditors are working or when three auditors are working, how will we plan and how will we allocate work? So first is development of audit plan. Your first topic talks about identify division of audit areas and common audit areas among joint auditor. Okay. So now the entity is a huge entity. There will be expense, income, assets, liabilities. So it might happen that one auditor aims at auditing the expenses and the assets, and the other auditor um, will audit the incomes and the liability. So this is how they bifurcated work. So the work done by one auditor will not be checked by the other auditor. Both these auditors will continue doing their own part of work that has been assigned and planned in the initial stages of the audit. And some areas might be common audit. For example, IFC, both the auditors might check. So this is your common audit area. So identify division of audit areas and common audit area. Your common audit area will be audited by both the auditors amongst the joint auditors. Okay. A certain reporting objectives of engagement to plan timing of audit and nature of communication. So all of this has to be done in the initial stages only. That is what will be a reporting objectives and what will be the timing of our audit and how much time do we have to complete it. This will be discussed between both the auditors. And the third point is consider results of preliminary engagement activities. So preliminary engagement activities are the terms and conditions, the scope, everything that you decide with the client. So you have to communicate with each other regarding to that. Now next is allocation of work. Allocation of work is by mutual discussion you will divide the audit work. So if there are two auditors, if there are three auditors, you will decide which auditor is doing which part, and that is how you will decide. This will be based on mutual discussion. Great. What does your first point say? Based on the identifiable units or specified areas, that is how will the work be divided. So it can be possible that one company has three separate units, that this unit caters to this customer, this unit caters to this customer, this unit caters to this customer. So based on, maybe work will be divided based on units or it will be based on areas. In some cases, due to nature of business, it might be based on assets, liabilities, income and expenditure. That is the example that I gave you. So that is based on the type of transaction. However, there will be certain areas that due to their importance cannot be divided and covered by all auditors. So since this area cannot be divided, it is called your common audit area. Okay. Then is documentation of work allocated. Work allocation document signed by all joint auditors and communicated to TCWG. So the work allocation that you will be bifurcating, that this work you will do, this work I will do. This work has to be first of all signed by all the joint auditors. This document has to be signed by all the joint auditors and also to be communicated to TCWG. Okay, so you will have to let them also know that this auditor is doing this much work and this auditor is doing this much work. This helps to avoid disputes and confusion with reference to scope of work. Your scope of work means who is covering what area and in what depth. So that will be your scope of work, and since all of this is documented, all of this is signed and communicated with TCWG, This will help avoid disputes and confusion. Okay, now what is the responsibility of joint auditors? So responsibility of joint auditors will be, there are two types of responsibility. One is jointly and severally liable for. That means all the auditors that have been assigned to the engagement, all the auditors that have been appointed, all the auditors that are jointly auditing the entity, they will be responsible for all of these transactions together. And the second one is responsibility of each joint auditor. So this means for these transactions only the specific auditor will be responsible. Okay, so let's see. For the first point is audit work not divided. Any audit work that has not been divided, this we know is common audit area. Correct. So any common audit area, since all the auditors will be doing it, so they will be jointly and severally be liable for. Your second is decisions with respect to common areas. That is your NT of audit procedure. That is the what are the nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures to be performed for common areas. These decisions also they will be jointly and severally liable. Third point talks about matters brought to notice of a joint auditor by another joint auditor. If one joint auditor has brought to the notice to another joint auditor that boss check this area also, since this auditor has told the other auditor, now they will be jointly and severally be liable for. D is presentation and disclosure of financial statements as per applicable FRS. So even if your audit area has been divided, you still have to check whether your presentation and disclosure is as per the applicable financial reporting framework or not. E point is ensuring audit report complies with all essays. Of course, your audit report has to comply with all the relevant standards. Okay, so all of these points they will be jointly and several will be liable for. Okay, now what will be the liability of each auditor? So apart from the work divided and allotted to him, see the work that has been divided and allotted to him, of course he will only be responsible for it. Other auditors will not be responsible for the work done by me. Okay, and I will not be responsible for the work done by them. So apart from this, what will be I be liable for? To determine nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures, and study and evaluate the internal control system and assessment of risk of material misstatement. For this, each individual auditor will be responsible. Great. And your last point is audit conclusion and reporting. So, what are your reporting requirements? So, joint auditors are required to issue a common audit report. For example, we are three auditors. We all have done each of our areas in some common area. All three of us will issue only one audit report. It is not such that I will issue one audit report, he will issue another audit report, and third person another third audit report. All three of us will together make only one audit report. However, in case of disagreement with regards to audit opinion, for example, I want to give a clean audit report, no issues, and they want to give another audit opinion, then you will have to express opinion in a separate audit report. That is, I will issue one audit report because I do not agree with their opinion, their audit opinion. So they will issue another report, I will issue another audit report. What is your third point? Joint auditor is not bound by views of majority. What does this mean? For example, there are total three auditors. One auditor has no issue, he wants to issue a clean audit report. However, two auditors want to issue an adverse report. Alright? Okay, so now this does not mean that since two auditors want to express an adverse opinion, that this one auditor will also have to agree with this because of majority wins. No. This one auditor will issue a separate audit report and these two auditors will issue a separate audit report. Okay. Now what does the D point says? In case of separate reports, make reference to the separate audit report issued by other auditors under the heading other matter paragraph as per SA 706. So this essay will be covered in 706, but this is a separate paragraph included in the audit report. So if I am issuing a different audit report and my auditors are issuing a different, and my other joint auditors are issuing a different audit report, in my other matter paragraph, I will have to specifically mention that boss, this is my audit report, but there has also been another audit report issued by so and so people. And They will also have to mention in their other meta paragraph that this is our report and there has been another report issued by Dheer and firm, etc. So this they will have to mention in the other meta paragraph, that is your SA 706. Very important point. Okay. Now what is the second part of it? Review of work by other auditor. So as I told you in the starting that one joint auditor and other joint auditors, they will not be checking each other's work. However, some cases you might have to review. So we will see. So each joint auditor is entitled to assume that the other auditors has carried on their part of audit, that is whatever work we had divided, whatever work we had agreed on, that this part you will do, this part I will do, I can assume that you have done that work and you have done that work properly. I need not check. We are, though we are called joint auditors, but I will not be responsible for the work allocated to you. And your second point is work in accordance with SA and any departure from FRF is brought to notice, that is any departure from financial reporting framework. So each joint auditor has to work in accordance with your SAs and they will assume that the other joint auditor has also worked as per the standards. So this is your first point, and your second point is not necessary for joint auditor to review work of other joint auditor unless unless I have received information from somewhere that that work has not been done properly, I need not review work of another auditor. And this is how we are done with SA 299. Okay, like the video guys, it gives me some motivation to upload more videos, and do comment if you will need any more videos any for some particular topic. Okay, see you in the next video.